Want to submit to PSA but never figured out how to do it? In this video today, I'm going to show you exactly how you submit and pack all your items up the safest and securest way possible so you can get your cards graded.
I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple.
Alright, here we are on PSA's website. I'm going to show you guys how I start a submission and I send stuff off. So the first thing is, if you don't already have an account, you got to make an account. I'm not going to walk you through that. That's super easy. You guys can get that one done. So I'm going to click Start Submission here. I'm going to click New Submission. Once I get here, this is one that I already prepped for this video, and these are ones that I already have out. But we're going to hit Classic Submission. Now, for this, I'm just going to give the example of doing trading cards. So you're going to click Trading Cards, it auto-selects, and you just click Select and Continue. And for this, unless you're doing something with an autograph or a crossover grading, I would recommend just click grading. That's the way to go. Boom. All right, and then the next thing, they have this weird special going on. I actually haven't seen this yet, but whatever. So depending on the tier, this is what you want to go off of, the max insured value. So if the card in a 10 is worth $1,000, you're probably going to want to send it value max or at minimum value plus. The thing is, if you send a card that's $1,000 in a 10 and you send it bulk, you're probably going to get upcharged. It just depends on the card. I've had stuff get upcharged from value plus that was worth $600. That, you know, I mean, it's honestly pretty random with how PSA chooses to upcharge stuff. For the most part, I try to stick to around what it is, mainly because I benefit a lot from the quicker turnaround time, specifically for the bigger cards, and I like to turn those over a little bit faster. So I tend to select the tier that what I think the grade is going to be and what the value of that card is when I send it. So for this example, I'm going to do a value max sub for the Mewtwo and the Victini from White Flare. This is the Destined Rivals Mewtwo and then the Victini for White Flare. So these are bigger cards, right? The idea is to send them value max. Honestly, the Victini would fit more for regular, but for this example, I'm just going to select value max. I already have it inputted in regular, but so for Scarlet and Violet era cards, the best way to find them, PSA's website is super weird sometimes when searching for cards. The way that I do it is I go the year, right? And then I do the set abbreviation EN for English, and then I type the number, right? So 2025 DRIEN 231. That brings up Destined Rivals Mewtwo. You can see all the different languages. You just want to find 2025 Pokemon DRIEN Destined Rivals 231 Team Rockets Mewtwo EX Special Illustration Rare. So you click that, hit save. If you want to like customize the max insured value, you can do that. I pretty much just keep it as default. So I hit save. Boom. So then I flip that one over, I put it in a stack, and then we can do Victini. What number is it? 172. Boom. There it is. And some of them have pictures, some of them don't. You click save, right? And then you want to click proceed to checkout. So once you hit proceed to checkout, after entering the items, you're going to have these options. What I always do is I always click ship on your own and then ship your items back to me. Below this, you'll have your address and your credit card that you input. That, I'm not going to show it because obviously that's my own personal information, but you input that below this and then you hit review order. Okay? And this is a good idea. It shows you the insured shipping costs and it shows you per item. So when you are keeping track of in your spreadsheet of your cards that your cost in and how much you're paying for grading and stuff like that, this is a really good option to do on this screen, as well as once you get the submission form. So after you input your address and credit card, you click review order. So here you are on the review your submission. I'm going to have to blur out my address and card. I didn't realize it was going to show on the screen. But on this page, all you have to do is scroll down here and check this box. This will be unchecked by default. Once you click it, you then click place order. For this one, I'm not going to do it because I already inputted this in. But once you do it, it'll show exactly how mine's showing up there. I'm going to hit save and exit here. But yeah, this is the last page, and this will then automatically send you an email and everything, email you the submission forms. So you click place order here, and then I'll show you what's coming up next. So once you hit place order, it'll show up right here. Okay, I decided to do these two regular because the Victini is kind of higher value, and the Mewtwo is probably going to be PC. I'm expecting both of these to get 10s. So what you'll do is you'll get this right here, and it'll say not received. Okay. So when you click on this, you can go through the email or however you want to do it, but then you're going to print the submission form. If you're doing multiple submissions, right? So you say you do that multiple times. So I have a bulk submission, I have a value plus submission here, and I have a regular submission. If you need to bundle these together now, this is the tricky part. PSA just changed this, and they will sit on, even if you send a regular and whatever one they scan, you cannot put multiple QR codes on the box. So what you have to do is click all these checkboxes and click package together. Okay, it'll generate a new label that you put on the outside of the box that when it shows up, they'll scan it in, and then all three of those turnaround times start. So this is really beneficial to send like a bulk sub with something of higher turnaround time, like regular, value plus, or value max, or whatever, because then it starts the time on the bulk sub a lot quicker. So that's a strategy that I use to get these bulk subs turned around a little bit quicker, and not spend as much on submission fees. So then here, your click package together, you'll save that label and you'll print it out. Okay. So I don't know exactly what it's going to show here, but this is what it's going to look like when you have your submission finalized, right? This is going to be, it's going to give you all this BS. So this is the address that you send it to on USPS, just the postal service. And here is the FedEx address. I always send USPS. I'll go through the exact shipping criteria and everything like that in a little bit, but I always use this address. So after that, you then click on print submission forms and label. All right, so once you hit print submission forms and label, and you're not going to use this one that pops up for the individual submission, right? So if you're doing multiple submissions, like I said, you don't want to use this one. This one that when you clicked all three boxes before and it generated a new one, that's the one you want to use, right? In this case, when I go to print all this, it's actually already printed out, but I will not, I'm just going to throw this page away, or I'm going to, when I go into my print settings, I'm just going to decide which which pages to print, okay? I'm not going to scroll down because that's personal information. The key thing you need to know is all the other pages minus this page and the customer copy in each submission needs to be folded up in the box with the cards. All right, starting off packing this up. As you can see here, I'm folding this up. I'm just using a box that PSA sent me in a previous submission. Here's my bulk submission, the first one. I used another insert that PSA sent me. I do like to put my cards in little graded guard sleeves. I actually use the Beckett Voltex graded guard sleeves for 8 different cards. Here, this is just a PSA graded guard sleeve, just to put 2 of them in there. Then I take bubble wrap like this, and I wrap up my more expensive cards I leave on the top here. This is my there's 3 submissions going in this box, so I give it a little shake test to make sure nothing's moving. It is moving right here. So I'm just going to stick in some bubble wrap here. And it doesn't have to be super nice. It just has to not move, right? So I give it a shake test and nothing's moving now. So then I put some fragile stickers on every visible surface that won't have something else on it, because the top will have the shipping label and the front will have this, our combined label from PSA. So you just take one big long strip and tape that down. And then we just tape up all openings of the box here. Make sure nothing's open. Any exposure. Okay, so once everything's packed up and you're ready to print the shipping label, this is where you go. I can't click on anything because my personal information and everybody else's personal information that I ship to is going to come up. So I'm just going to go through it and I'll just talk through exactly. Obviously, here is your ship to address. This is where you input PSA's shipping address, right? The C/U, receiving, and the address and whatnot. You just fill it out here. And then your ship from address is obviously your own address. Here, since I'm using the PSA package that they give me, I always just go 6x4x4 here. And then I usually just put about a pound. Depending on how many cards are in there, about 30 cards I say are about a pound. It's not a super heavy package, so I just rock with a pound here. Here's what the finished product should look like when you input PSA's address. This is the exact thing that you need to put in there. Give you a second here. And again, 6x4x4, 1 pound package. And then after that, after you input your own personal address and name and everything and phone number, then you click get rates, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so after you hit get rates, this is the screen you'll be put on. You'll see the address up here that you're sending it to. And then in shipment details, that's when you can verify your own address. And then right here basically is the drop down menu of what you can pick, right? So if you want to go the cheapest option, the estimated dates here are pretty solid. So if it says if you ship by today, it'll be there Wednesday. Today's the 16th of August that I'm recording this. So that's kind of how it looks. Certain things, Express is like you can see here, Priority Mail and Express are the same return day or same delivery day. That's just, there's some weird stuff with the weekend. If you did this on like a Monday, it would be probably getting there by that Wednesday following. So sometimes this is good if you have a lot of cards, and it makes it just easier to just track the tracking for 2 days and make sure you know exactly where it is so it doesn't get lost or damaged or anything. If you do want to add insurance, you go here before you click get rates. You have to click here. We'll just say for this submission it's $2,500, and we'll take a look at the prices compared to the other one. Okay, so with the insurance added, it is now $36.40. So it's about $20 more. You can decide if you want to do that or not. It's up to you. Sometimes it does cap out, and I believe it is $5,000. It wasn't showing on there, but if you try to do more than that, then it won't let you check out. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Preferably, I like to get it there as soon as possible, and I just keep an eye on the tracking, just because the shipping does add up. But for this one, I will do I'll do the insured shipping here. So once you're done and you decide on the exact one that you want, you click buy label, and then it'll pop up the label in a PDF format, and then that's where you go click print. If you have a label printer, ideally you hook that up, or if it's wireless, if you're that cool, then you send it there and then you stick it on the box. Now your package should look like this, right? You got your fragile stickers, you got your barcode on there, and it's ready to go. You just take it to the USPS, the post office, right? And you drop it off. And then it's really easy. If you want to check the tracking, you just log back into your shipping account here, and you hit the tracking number right here on the screen. So that's what I do, and then you keep it for your records. And then once it's delivered, PSA should send you a notification saying, hello, your submission has arrived from PSA. So if you have the app on your phone, it'll pop up immediately. If not, you just got to keep checking, and it'll scan in. And then when you go back to PSA here, let's just go back here. It'll say not received, and then as soon as it's scanned in, it will say received, and then it'll look something like this, right? It'll say either research ID, it might say order prep. That's another common thing. Right when it gets scanned in, it'll say order prep. Don't be alarmed if it takes a couple days, especially for bulk, to be in order prep for a while. But it will update, and as you can see right here, we're looking at a lot that are in grading and whatever. So it updates as the time goes by, and as it gets closer to this estimated date, you'll start seeing it jump to assembly and QA checks. Now, I will say it usually sits in grading for the longest period of time. Assembly is probably the second longest. QA checks, it's usually in QA checks for about 2 days, and then once it's out of QA checks, it'll say grades ready. The best way to do it is on your phone. You can do the reveal thing if you really want to do that, or you can wait and open them up in person. So the way that you know that they're there is that you will get an email that says PSA receipt. That's the quickest way that you'll know. As soon as you get PSA receipt in your email from the charge, is when you can view your grades. So if you don't want to see them, then you should probably not log in. And you don't have to worry though if you go on your phone or here, if you already have the grades back, specifically on the desktop app, it makes it the best because you can just hit track package. That's the best way to do it if you don't want to view your own grades and you want to see them in person and open the box in person. So I would go on the desktop app if that's the case. In your phone, you can do it as well. It will just be blurred until you hit start reveal. But you can hit the tracking number on that same screen. So if you do want to be surprised, you can still make sure the package is there. Remember, it will be a signature delivery, usually FedEx, depending on where you live, when it's returned to you from PSA. So you probably want to keep an eye on the tracking, especially if you have to reroute it. If you're not going to be home, you probably have to put it at a hold location or what have you. So just keep that in mind. Real quick, post-production T1C here, I forgot to mention, if you do receive an upcharge in the submission, while it's in QA checks is when you'll get that email, and it will basically say you just have to reply to the email with I approve, and they'll actually, in that PDF that they send you, it will have your grades for everything. So if you don't want to know and you just want to approve, just reply to the email. Don't click the PDF in the email if you want to be surprised. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to wait for them to be shipped back to you, I actually have tested this just for the information here. It's actually pretty cool. So you could vault them. You can send them to the PSA vault. They just hold it for you for free, and I believe it's a $1 withdrawal fee to have it shipped back to you later. So if you're not going to be home, say you're going on vacation when you get charged, you can change it quickly to vault and just have them hold that, or you can call them as well and change it. I think you have to change the address before it's in QHX. So as soon as it's in assembly, you're gonna have to. It's gonna come to that address, but you can send it to vault in that time frame. So there's about a 3-day time window from when you get the grades, you get the email and charge for the submission, for you to go in here and change this. It's actually kind of annoying because it takes me about 4 minutes, and I wish that they would speed up the process, but that's just how PSA goes. The other option, if you don't want to send it to vault, like I said, it's a very rare scenario for most people, unless you have so many that you just don't want to maintain at your personal location. You can hit sell on eBay. This way you can go here, you can set the amount bid that you want to do it for. And again, you can wait until you see the grades here so you know exactly what you should start the bid at or put the buy now at. And then you can put list soonest available. And it's about, so when you get the grades, it actually gets listed on eBay pretty quickly. I did a 7-day auction, and I got paid roughly about 2 days after the auction ended. So it was actually a pretty solid turnaround time. Plus, it's slightly better fees. So generally speaking, if you sell on eBay on your own, you're going to get about 85% of the value. Like I said, I usually just calculate it as that. On PSA, I think I calculated at 87.5. So you actually get a little bit more. So on those higher value cards, it might be worthwhile to sell it on eBay. The only issue is that I did have one of the 3 cards I did sell on eBay through PSA. It took, one of the buyers didn't pay for one of the items. So it took like a week and a half for that buyer to pay and then me finally get paid out and everything. So you just want to keep that in mind, but I have verified it myself, and this is a pretty good option if you don't have the eBay reach or the ability to sell things. So this is pretty solid if you are grading stuff that you're not looking to keep. Thank you for watching today's video. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'm sure somebody else also has the same questions as you do, so just ask. Also, if you need to get in contact with me, please DM me on my Instagram and join the Discord down below. It's in the description. Thank you again, and may your next card be a PSA 10.
Now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it dog like I want it dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down a list.